Well, hello people. Welcome to Wedding Whoop. I'm your host, Pearl Osa, and I'm going to be taking you through 50 of the most crazy stories about behind the scenes in weddings. So it's your wedding day, the flowers smell so good, and the organ's playing, and the bells are chiming, and it looks good outside. But have you any idea the craziness, the drama that's going on behind the scenes? So Wedding Whoops is about just that, and we've got 50 of those sorts of stories. Before I move further, I want to say to you, please hit the notification bell and subscribe so you know when we load something new. Right, today's episode is about a groom that, wait for it, gets arrested on his wedding day for child support. Child support, like I just could not. Right? And so when you think wedding whoops, it's those things that it's like, he couldn't have. No, she couldn't have. Yes, she did. Yes, he did. Whoops, there it is.
Chapter 43. You're under arrest. This is the story of the lengths one baby mama, i.e. ex-wife, will go to prove a point. Ray was in the church with his 2-year-old daughter, who was dressed up like a miniature bride to match her soon-to-be stepmama, Lacey. Ray was sweating through his tux. He had an out-of-control child running up and down the church aisle and 2 groomsmen who had yet to show up. Wiping his sweaty hands on his tuxedo pants, Ray smiled as Lacey's mother, Trisha, came toward him. Trisha smiled coldly as she pinned on his boutonniere. She leaned in close to whisper in his ear, "So you're a deadbeat dad, is that it?" Trisha said. Ray jerked back, confused. Suddenly, Ray's missing groomsmen skidded through the door, straightening themselves up as they landed. 2 uniformed officers walked in right behind them. Seeing this, the color drained immediately from Ray's face. "Ray Scott," one of the officers interrupted, "you'll have to come with me. Now, I'm about to get married. We didn't know it was your wedding. We were just informed you'd be here at this time." The officer's voice was businesslike and not especially sympathetic. "Sir, you haven't appeared in court as ordered. We are here as a last resort." "What is this about?" Craig, the best man, asked. That is when Trisha spoke up. "Unpaid child support. 8 months overdue." Ray looked away from his best man and into the church to see his ex-wife sitting on the groom's side, right in the first row, an uninvited guest who had just informed Trisha of the news. Ray looked like he was getting more nauseous by the minute. Seeing this, the cop smirked. "You'll have to come with us. You can post bail and be out in time for your reception." "Look, officer, let me get married and I will go with you right after, please," Ray pleaded. "No," Trisha interrupted. "You will not go through with this. I'm going to tell my daughter right now." But before the mother of the bride could take another step, the entire congregation shifted in one unified motion. There, in the doorway glittering with rage and beauty, was Lacey. Clearly, she had heard everything. Ray looked back and forth between his ex and his almost wife, who looked unbelievably gorgeous and unbelievably enraged. Ray stepped through the door into the church, moving fast toward her, arms extended and face pleading. "Please, honey, let me—" "No," Lacey said. It was a voice of utter finality, bouquet dangling from its ribbon in her hand. Lacey turned elegantly and walked out of the church. A stunned silence held everyone in the room captive. The best man stepped to the front of the church as Ray and the officers followed Lacey out the front doors. "Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a bit of a situation. If I could ask for your patience, I am sure this will all be straightened out. Thank you." An hour later, everyone had left the pews and were loitering outside. The minister had left, and the organist had long since gone home. Finally, the best man pulled up, having returned from the precinct where they took Ray. He addressed the groomsmen who were waiting in the limo, drinking champagne. "We can bail him out if we come up with $18,000, he said. "How are we going to do that?" one of the groomsmen asked. "We're his best friends. We got to come up with something," Craig said. Craig turned and waved his arms to get everyone's attention. "Attention, can you all just come inside for a minute and I can tell you what's happening?" "We can bail him out if we come up with $18,000, he said. Craig stood up front and explained that unless they could come up with $18,000, the groom would be spending the weekend in jail. "Where's Lacey?" someone called out. "She's with Ray at the police station," Craig answered. "She still wants to marry him?" someone asked. "Yes, they are still going to get married. Ray is really sorry. He just got behind on some child support. That's it. He's not a criminal or anything," Craig said. "But we have to bail Ray out. Who's with me?" "Not supporting his kid is criminal. I'm out of here," said a friend of Lacey's, and when she stood up to leave, 2 others went with her. "Okay, who can help us out here? We all brought wedding presents, cash money, right? What if we started with that?" Craig said. On the first pass, the wedding guests were able to raise $2,400. "That's not going to cut it, people," Craig said. He went over to Ray's parents and had a few words with them. Then he returned to address the guests. "Okay, Ray's parents will come up with $5,000. Now we have $7,400. Who is willing to take a ride to the ATM machine and meet up at the catering hall?" Few people raised their hands, and a cheer went up. The reception was already paid for, and they made it clear that no matter what else happened, everyone was invited to the reception for dinner. By that evening, Ray had been in jail for hours, and most of the guests had trickled into the reception where the cocktail hour had been stretched out as long as it could go. Ray's friends tried their best to talk to any remaining guests to pony up more cash. As the drinks flowed, people started having fun. Pocketbooks were opened wider, and relatives became more and more generous as the evening wore on. The DJ kept the music going, and the MC encouraged everyone to get up and dance. At first, people hesitated, but he said, "It's your party now, let's all have fun." Finally, Craig grabbed the microphone and announced that he had enough money to bail Ray out. Cheers went up, the music came back on, the waiters started taking dinner orders, and the wedding party went to get ready for a wedding ceremony. It was nearly 10 p.m. by the time Ray was processed and released. As soon as he got to the hall, the DJ took over, telling everyone to take a seat and putting on music for the procession. The wedding party entered in pairs, looking so relieved after a long, stressful day. Finally, there was Ray with Lacey on his arm. Together, they took the long walk down the aisle and said their I do's. It wasn't the church wedding they had planned for, but it was a beautiful ceremony, followed by a very late but delicious dinner. And a good time was had by all. No one should have to deal with this kind of drama on their wedding day, but as they say, a woman scorned is the worst enemy to have. It was the motive of Ray's ex-wife to get his attention and make the point that she was very serious about their financial arrangement with her daughter. But the question remains, did she want the whole world to think that he is a bad father? Of course, some people can be stone cold evil. This baby mama wanted to embarrass the groom on his wedding day, and she succeeded. Some might say the groom was a deadbeat dad and deserved what he got. Of course, the child always comes first. So before you decide to get married, get that part of your house in order to give your kids the best foundation you can.
Now, if that wasn't drama, I don't know what was. And as I said, I don't know how I could have handled that situation. Please drop your comments in the comments below and let us know. Would you have stuck around? I want your comments from the perspective of the groom, of the baby mama, and of the bride-to-be. What would you have done? Listen, guys, the most important thing is you need to know that a wedding lasts one day. The flowers, the menu, the dresses, the blah-de-blah-de-blah. That's one day. But the marriage is a lifetime. So you need to make sure you've done your background checks. Can I trust this person? Do I know his pastor? Do I know his mother? Does he look after his mother? How's his credit? Does he have a baby mama? Should have been the question asked this time. The gentleman in question should have made sure that he knows how vindictive this woman clearly was. He should have made sure that she was satisfied, all was well, and he was busy taking care of his baby. Because he's coming to make more babies in this situation. I'd be worried, frankly, if I was the bride. But you know what? I'm not, right? So, as I said, we've got 49 more episodes to come, and you do not want to miss them. I need you to hit the notification bell. I need you to subscribe. I need you to call a girlfriend, call a friend, tell them what you just saw on YouTube, and get them to also hook up. Right? And that way you will know when we've got something new. Also, we've got the book on Amazon. 50 stories of crazy things that you never thought would have happened, but they all are real life stories on Wedding Whoops. Catch you next time. I'm your girl, Pearl Osa.